Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new here. And today I'm really excited because I'm going to be talking about education. I'm going to be talking about self-education and how important it is in today's society and how to make it fun. Let's get to it. All right. In today's age and with the rise of anti-intellectualism, which is unfortunately the case if you look at the statistics, I believe it's really important to not undermine the role of education and its importance, okay? I genuinely used to believe that once you finish your formal education, once you finish your school, you go to university, whatever, you like this is kind of it in terms of education. Like you do not do any more education. Have no idea why I had such thoughts in my head because this is literally anti everything that I'm standing for now. And I feel like I'm always learning something. I'm always on some kind of side quest. But this is exactly what I'm going to talk to you about today, having side quests. Like, we should be having more side quests and educational ones as well, because how incredibly important it is to educate yourself and evolve, you know? I studied brain and I can't say I always think about it, but like I often think about the importance of keeping your brain young and about neuroplasticity. I might talk about this in a separate video because I feel like this could be a separate topic. However, education is one of the ways to keep your brain education and learning new things, studying new things is a fantastic way to keep your brain young and improve your neuroplasticity moving into older age especially, but not necessarily, just generally keeping yourself young and keeping yourself active. So yes, I feel like I don't even have to talk about necessarily having to romanticize educating yourself because this topic generally is really well aestheticized on social media, especially TikTok, I think, but Instagram as well, I guess. I don't know. I feel like this is not really an issue with people loving dark academia, with the rise of popularity of books, which I think is fantastic. And, we should make use of that. We should absolutely make use of that because when I was a student, I didn't always feel that way, I didn't always feel like it's such a cozy, romantic, vibey situation because I just had a lot to study. Just had a lot to learn. It was a lot of work. So yeah, it wasn't necessarily always fun. But now, and this is video especially for all the people who finish their education, let's, keep improving ourselves. This is not even so much about improving yourself, it's just about like learning new things and expanding your mind and kind of broadening your horizons. That's which is kind of relevant always, to be honest with you. But I do believe it is especially important in today's day and age and today's society. I'm not going to expand on that much currently, but you catch what I'm saying. All right, so how to be educated, how to study by yourself, and how to have fun while doing that. All right, so let's talk about having side quests, okay? I'm sure there are topics that you're genuinely interested in, but you never thought about doing research in those areas because you just don't have time. It's not something that you studied at university or in school. It's not something that you were ever encouraged to do. It's not something that you ever took seriously for whatever reason. And once again, there's just no time because work, family, whatever else. Let me tell you something. You can treat this as a hobby, honestly. I feel like I have been reading about this a lot and I have been watching videos of people talking about how important it is to have hobbies and how important it is to engage in something outside of your work and outside of your studies in order just to keep your mind once again active and in order to keep your mind kind of youthful and having fun. Just it is really important to do something fun without necessarily like profiting from it, without any usefulness that you can see. Basically, how important it is to do something for fun without necessarily monetizing it. Okay? So literally just for the purpose of having fun and not turning every side quest, every hobby into a business. Okay? That is important. It will make you feel better. It will improve your mental health. It will improve, it will increase the amount of life in your days and the amount of joy. So yes. So yeah, side quests. You can treat that as a hobby. You can treat your education, your self-education as a hobby. If you're not into crocheting, if you're not into painting, if you're not into dancing, or any into all of those other things, and especially if you are like an academic person, you can pursue self-education as a type of a hobby. Honestly, I kind of feel like it's fantastic. That way you can finally approach the topics that you could never touch before, because again, for whatever reason, you didn't take them seriously enough, and you can just, make it a goal, make it a little project for yourself to learn as much as you can about these topics for just one purpose: to educate yourself, to learn more, and to have fun. I do think that it's a fantastic and really, really, really important point, is that you should be having fun. Okay? I genuinely could never understand when I was, learning something or studying something, why would certain teachers, especially when it comes to like learning a language, why would teachers approach this topic extremely seriously when it has been proven times and times again that you learn so much more in a stress-free situation when you are approaching learning as like playing games, having fun, when you are doing it in a much more relaxed kind of atmosphere. And I personally myself like learned so much more whenever I was just like having fun with the language, having fun with the topic. Like your brain absorbs so much more information that way. It's just beyond me. So anyways, you have control over this. You have control over how you approach your hobbies and your education. So I suggest you make it fun for yourself, like as fun as it can be, basically. So don't take it too seriously. Make it your goal to have a good time, to learn something fun, learn something new. So you can plan your goals. And once again, I hear lots of people talk about this. You do not have to choose anything that is really popular currently. You don't have to choose literature. You don't have to choose mathematics, physics. You don't have to choose anything that, a lot of people are interested in, like because it's cool or because they want to catch up on what they didn't learn enough in school or something like that. It doesn't have to be that. You can choose something like fashion. You can choose something like music. You can choose, honestly, anything. You can learn so much about different topics, about, for example, how to make books or how to make paper. I don't know. Any topic, regardless of how silly it may sound to you, if you are interested in it, make it your goal to learn more about it. Like plan it out for yourself, write it out. And here are some of the things that you can do in your spare time, in this like hobby time, in order to tackle these topics. So you can just do research. You can actually approach this as a student. You can approach this if you can approach this as a student if you want to romanticize like dark academia aesthetic or something like that. And you can literally just use Google Scholar and research the topics and read the articles. You can get yourself a nice notebook and take notes. You can print out the articles if you want and highlight them in, student style, whatever works for you. And try to learn as much as you can. Try to approach this academically, if that's what you're into. If you're still a student, it's a fantastic idea for you to use online libraries if you have access to those, because a lot of the times, well, I think always actually students have access to libraries in their campuses, and a lot of the times they have access to a pretty extensive online library as well, at least one. So do make use of that if you are currently a student. You can also research topics that you are not studying directly, for your degree. So if you have access to that, absolutely do that. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Now, another thing, there are lots of resources where you can find free courses, okay? Once again, you can search university websites, because lots of universities have free courses accessible for a wider audience, which I think is fantastic. And you can find, lots of other things. You can also find people talk about different topics online, like on YouTube, for example. You can find courses on YouTube. People record courses on YouTube as well. do make use of that. That is a fantastic resource. And once again, books, of course. Yes, if you have access to any kind of library, online library, once again, do make use of that and do find the books and do read the books. You can obviously just always buy books and read them in your spare time. Once again, take notes, underline, highlight, annotate if you feel like it. But truly, I feel really passionate about this topic because you cannot undermine the importance of education, especially nowadays. And I feel like this is something really important for us to talk about. So yes, in the beginning of autumn, I saw lots of people make different videos about locking in, the great lock-in, the winter arc and stuff like that. And part of that usually is some kind of study schedule, some kind of like organized schedule for your education that people kind of take care of themselves besides universities and any kind of formal education. So I think it's a fantastic idea for us to actually incorporate that into our daily lives and like weekly lives more so than anything. And what that's going to do long term for you is it will make you more educated. It will also increase your research skills and all kinds of other skills depending on what you're obviously researching, but this will increase overall your level of intelligence and will make you a smarter, more intelligent, more intellectual, smart person, is what I'm trying to say. So yes, everybody wants to be smart nowadays. I'm actually really excited about that. I think it's a fantastic goal. Finally, people are talking about this, and there's so many things you can do. There's so many resources. There's so many free resources nowadays online. You can find so many like free PDFs of like scanned books that people could not have access to previously. So please do take advantage of that. Once again, especially if you're a student and have access to online libraries and regular libraries. So yes. So anyways, you guys, this is it for today's video. Please let me know if you have any questions in the comments down below. If you have any other suggestions for self-education, if you have any, honestly, if you know any interesting topics that you would like to research, anything fun, anything exciting, please leave them in the comments as well. I did mention fashion, and I actually was kind of getting back into that topic. And this is something that I'd like to spend more time on in my spare time because I'm really passionate about it, and I always have been. So why not spend more time doing something that you love? Anyways, so yes, thank you so very much for watching this video, you guys. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate that, and please leave me a comment. Any comment would do. That would support my channel tremendously. Please do that. I would really appreciate that, and I will see you in the next one.